All right, let's get right into it. You gotta see this. We're looking at the wild story of a stock that seemed to just break the laws of physics. We're gonna play detective and figure out exactly what was going on with this stock, RANI. Just take a second and let that number sink in. That's not 25%. That's 248% in one day. I mean, a move like that is like a giant flare shooting up from the market, telling you something absolutely massive is happening. But here's the thing. A big number is just, well, a number. It doesn't tell the whole story, right? Is this the launch of a rocket ship you want to be on? Or is it a giant red flag, a bubble just waiting to pop? To figure that out, we've got to pop the hood and look at the technical clues. Okay, so our investigation starts with the most basic question. Was anyone even there? In the market, the crowd is the trading volume. We need to know if this was just a quiet little blip or if an absolute mob of traders showed up. To check the pulse of that crowd, we're going to use a really cool tool called the Money Flow Index, or MFI. All you need to know is that it looks at both price and volume to see if the money flooding in is from excited buyers or panicked sellers. It's a great lie detector. And, wow, just look at Rani's MFI score. It's 99.84 out of 100. I mean, you can see it right there. It's basically one giant slice of pure, unfiltered buying pressure. It's a total blowout. So our first clue is a big one. This surge isn't some random glitch. It is being powered by an absolutely insane amount of buying. The market voted with its dollars, and the vote was a landslide. And just to put a fine point on it, look at how massive that crowd was. The trading volume for Rani was almost 48 times its normal daily average. That's not just a busy day. That's the doors of a stadium being thrown open all at once. So let's wrap up clue number 1. The evidence is overwhelming. This wasn't a quiet little move up. This was a full-blown stampede. Now for our second clue. So we know a huge crowd showed up, but were they all running in the same direction? Is there real sustained power, momentum behind this move? Or is it just a bunch of chaotic energy? We need to see if this is a strong, established trend. For this, our go-to tool is the MACD. Now, don't worry about the crazy name. Just think of it as a momentum meter for a stock. When it's positive, it tells you the upward trend has some real muscle behind it. And would you look at that? Rani's MACD is positive. This tells us that not only is the trend pointed up, but the force behind it is actually getting stronger. The engine is revving higher and higher. And it's not just one signal. I mean, look at this. The price is soaring way above all its important moving averages. Another indicator, the Arun, is maxed out at 100, its highest strength reading. And buying pressure is absolutely crushing selling pressure, 85-3. It's a total domination. Okay, let's just take a breath. We have a massive crowd, and we have powerful, confirmed momentum from every angle. It seems like a pretty open and shut case, right? This thing is a runaway freight train. Well, not so fast, because this is where our mystery takes a really sharp turn. You see, all that power, all that incredible speed, it comes with a serious risk. Every engine has a red line, and it looks like Rani's is flashing bright, bright red. This brings us to a super important warning gauge, the Relative Strength Index, or RSI. The easiest way to think about it is like the tachometer in a car. It tells you how fast the engine is spinning. And in the stock market, any reading over 70 is considered overbought. It's a warning that you might be pushing things way too hard. So, what's Rani's RSI? It's not just a little over 70. It's not even 80. It's screaming up at almost 93. That is unbelievably high. The needle isn't just in the red zone, it's practically bent around the other side. This is a huge red flag. It's telling us the buying has gotten totally out of control, and the stock is now stretched like a rubber band that's about to snap. Moves that are this short and this fast often burn out and reverse just as quickly. And this slide just perfectly captures the puzzle we're trying to solve. On the left, you've got all these signs of a ridiculously powerful bullish trend. But on the right, you've got multiple gauges just screaming that the stock has gone way too far, way too fast. It's a paradox. So what do you do with that when a stock is being pulled in two opposite directions? How do you figure out what's next? Well, you need a map.
we can use key price levels to see where the real battle lines are drawn between the buyers and the sellers.
And here's our battle map. We're currently sitting at $1.64. The immediate fight is happening right around the pivot point at 172. Think of that as the front line. Above that, the next ceiling is at 231. But if we fall, the first floor of support is way down at 105. These are the levels that are going to tell us who's winning this fight. So this all boils down to two very clear possibilities. Scenario 1, the bulls just have too much power and they break through that 172 level. If that happens, they might have enough gas to make a run for 231. But Scenario 2, if the engine finally overheats and the price breaks down below that 105 support level, that could be the signal that the party's over and a serious correction has begun.
So after putting all these clues together, the crowd, the momentum, and that big twist, what's the final takeaway? What does this crazy 248% day really teach us?
I think the biggest lesson is that technical analysis rarely gives you a simple yes or no. It's all about understanding the tension in the market. This stock is a perfect example of something that can be incredibly strong and incredibly risky at the exact same time. It's a tug of war, and the price is just the rope in the middle. And that leaves us with the ultimate question, one that every single person has to ask when they see a chart like this. All the clues are on the table, and they're pointing in opposite directions. So, what's the bigger risk here? Missing out on a potential rocket ship to the moon? Or being on board when it runs out of fuel and comes crashing back to Earth? That's the puzzle at the heart of all this.